Empathic learners or empathic communicators are more effective when they're community building because they would tend to know if their teammates are very stressed out or they would necessarily know like, oh, what is everyone feeling? Because the main part of community building is the people that you would bring around with you, right? So if you don't have those skills, like people skills, that's what they say, you'd never make it as a community builder. So basically, if you have those characteristics, like you have a genuine interest for people, like you
like
have
face to face. It should be like face to face, or it could be like online.
It could
also.
be online, of course. It could be online, but I'm thinking of like a genuine curiosity about what that person wants in their life, what they find purpose in, and you really ask them about themselves and be interested in their welfare. I think it starts from there.
Now I'm inspired.
In Australia.
We are a community whose support and help each other.
Hey, I'm Martin. This is Entrepreneur Beach Club Philippines, a community of entrepreneurs, business owners, startups, aspiring entrepreneurs, founders, freelancers, and digital nomads, where we connect, influence, inspire, collaborate, motivate, guide, learn, and at the same time have fun with fellow like-minded people and build meaningful relationships. Welcome to the show. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing for more videos like this. We want to thank our venue sponsor, the Company Cebu IT Park branch, for giving us a venue to do this podcast. The Company Cebu is a co-working space that provides private offices, executive offices, dedicated desks, meeting rooms, and an event space. Check out their co-working space and more updates in their social media pages. In this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of community building. Together with us, with our guest, is Miss Joy Garingo. She's a community builder and a community manager of the Company Cebu co-working space. She's also an educator and a psychometrician. Enjoy the show.
And Miss Joy, interesting, huh? When we're not around, we're talking about Miss Joy is a registered psychometrician. Can you? This is interesting. Can you tell before we this is like a casual ambush interview? Can you tell me about something? Yes, thank you so much. Can you tell me something about being a registered? Aside from you're a community builder, you are a registered psychometrician.
Yeah. So I got my license August 2016.
All right.
I'm a psychology major.
All right.
And then I decided to pursue a license in psychometrician.
Oh, so
So I took up the board exams,
okay.
and then at that time I thought I really wanted to be a psychometrician.
So
Then
which should come first? Like nauna ba the registered psychometrician before you enter into like community builder in co-working?
Ever since not in a co-working space in that aspect, but ever since I was young, I was already introduced to the community building lifestyle. I come from a really religious background.
Okay.
Both my parents are into the ministry, so when I was young, I would help them in outreach programs. So I'd really understand the grassroots approach, like how they would start to empower the church and its members to work. So they had livelihood programs. So these are very common things that I see, like also in the community building and a co-working space. So I think I was very exposed to it. So psychometrician or community building, which came first? I think community building.
Okay, so it's like
a really
it's in your blood, ever since it's embedded in when you're young.
It's your passion.
Yes, it's my my real passion really is teaching. It's really education. So I think community building is also a form of teaching. I think of a classroom as a community, not just a place where information comes from the teacher, but it comes from the interaction. All the significant information, it comes from the interaction between the students themselves or the teacher and the student. It happens inside that classroom. So that alone, it fosters a lot of community building in itself. So that's really my passion, education, and then education and then community building, of course, since it's all related.
Yes, okay,
And
that's
I'm just
awesome.
very
From
fortunate,
educator, registered psychometrician, and a community builder.
Thank God.
How cool is that? Anyway, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And because we want to know about, about community building, and we would like to ask, some tips and hacks about, for example, growing the company. The company is a co-working space. We believe this is your second.
Yes, second in Cebu.
Second in Cebu.
Second in the Philippines, actually.
Second in the Philippines, and the first one is in.
The
Mandaue.
first one is in Mandaue. Yeah. We started that one December 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So we had our birthday. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
to
you so
company,
much.
right? So let's go to the direct questions, and we want to hear your brilliant mind and your words and your passion about about community, because we learn this is very interesting and helpful for everyone, because everyone has different experience, and our community, or the startup entrepreneurs, business owner, the founders, this kind of interview give us different perspectives and experiences. Okay, let's go to the first question.
Okay.
We would like to know, as a community manager, why do you think community building is very important?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the fact that we're all humans, and all humans need to relate to each other in order to feel very significant or feel that they have a purpose in life.
Okay.
So it's already embedded into ourselves that we need a community to survive. It's better when there's a community that supports us. So that's why I believe community building is very important.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's
It also helps
as simple as
us
that.
grow as a person.
Yes. So basically, it's really true. No man is an island. So if you try to make it out alone, most likely no one is there to really help you. But when you're with a community, when you grow in a community, when you really value your community, you'd have the strength of others with you. You'd have their success stories. You'd have their failures with you. Only if you're open, right, to absorb their experiences. So basically, that's why I think community building is really important.
I agree, 100%. And okay, follow-up question. So how did you, for example, like you opened last year, right? The company
Yes.
last year in Mandaue, and now within 1 year, and this is a huge,
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
I think now,
Thank
man,
you,
it's
010.
Biggest
Yes.
it's the
in Cebu.
biggest in Cebu, right?
Yes.
Because I've seen, I've been to different co-working space, and when Martin like called me like, Orly, let's go to Miss Joy and the company we work in
Yeah.
co-working
Thank you
space.
so
Like,
much.
what?
Thank you.
And
so
we
much.
were like, I was
Yeah, and
overwhelmed.
I was
It's huge.
working with Martin before. Like,
That's a very good
imagine, like,
example of
he-
community.
Yeah. Actually,
building.
the reason I know about Martin is because I talked to this,
Sure, of course.
Carlo Villarica.
Oh.
So I talked to him, because I saw his blog about the 5 top co-working spaces.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk to him about it, and also his brand, 032. And then I asked him, like, do you know someone who can film? And then he introduced me to you.
Our creative
And
director
yeah.
guy. He's the guy. He's the man.
And then,
Yes.
so I work with a team of Japanese professionals. They've been in the creative industry for such a long time already.
Sweet.
Like, they've worked with companies like Recruit, also like the Singapore of the Museum of Singapore.
Wow.
They've worked with such big clients, ne? And when they saw your work, they were also like really happy about it.
Oh, that's
So
really
that's why we asked him to make our video again, our opening reception video again, because number one, we were very satisfied with the first one.
He's the
And
guy.
the second reason is we wanted it to be really meaningful.
Yep.
So like the first people who really grew with us,
Yes.
and then
True.
so thank you so much.
And not bragging, and when I met Marty 2-3 years ago, it's gonna be all about no, I'm just kidding. But Marty, I believe I moved in Cebu 6 years ago, but one of the youngest rising filmmaker, I would say. And
I believe
it's Marty,
so.
you know what I mean?
We tried to do a
Thank you.
series with him,
Yeah.
but like we
Yeah.
sort of
We
lost
adopted it.
focus. I
Yeah.
think like
Yes.
not his side, our side. Like we lost sight of the vision, and so
we had 2 episodes of
2
short
episodes.
documentary.
And the
That's really
people
cool.
that we featured are actually members of the space, and one is a graphic designer, one is a fitness instructor. So and
So
they
that's a
chose to live in Cebu.
Yeah, this is a very example of community building, and the network effects, and if you help one another, if they're, people are generally generous, I would like to believe, because I met you because Marty.
Yeah.
It's like this story about, hey Orly, You should check it out, the company working space. Like, really, yeah, we should meet Miss Joy. And now we're doing the ambush interview. Anyway, how cool is that? You know, all of a sudden we have a setup.
Unexpected, yeah.
Yeah, you know, all of a sudden we're live.
Yeah.
Hello everyone,
Hello.
Entrepreneur Beach Club Philippines.
Hello.
Hello, that's
Hello.
Paolo, hello Paolo. So yeah, anyway, so aside from, you know, you were able to share about, you know, how did you grow your community within 1 year, and what tools and recommendation can you give to those who are community builders? For example, because your story is kind of
yeah.
like 1 year you open, and this is a bigger one.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so I'm gonna like give like tools
Yes.
and other types of, I wouldn't call them tools, but like a personal characteristic.
All right.
So if you want to be a community builder, you'd have to have like genuine interest in a person,
Yeah, okay.
because to be a community builder, a lot of talking is really involved. Not just talking, but really communicating, really learning about
So you
the
should
other
like
person.
a good communicator also.
Good communication skills. I would really suggest like a good self-awareness as well,
Oh, yes.
so that you know what type of questions you should ask,
Yeah.
what type of questions are good for that situation.
Okay.
So a good awareness of yourself and the other person. And I would also really think that empathic learners or empathic communicators are more effective when they're community building, because they would tend to know if their teammates are very stressed out, or they would necessarily know like, oh, what is everyone feeling, because the main part of community building is the people that you would bring around with you, right? So if you don't have those skills, like people skills, that's what they say, you'd never make it as a community builder. So basically, if you have those characteristics, like you have a genuine interest for people, like you
like
have
face to
a-
face. It should be like face to face, or it could be like
it
online.
could
also.
be online, of
But-
course. It could be online, but I'm thinking of like a genuine curiosity about what that person wants in their life, what they find purpose in, and you really ask them about themselves and be interested in their welfare. I think it starts from there.
Okay.
It doesn't really start like, oh, I really want to build a community because I want to network, I want to have a good support system. It doesn't usually fare out well, because very easily you'd get really burnt out.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, it wouldn't
Because you
be,
have a different
because
purpose.
because it's not
And,
hardwired. You're not
and
hardwired.
people will feel it that if you're not into it, you're faking
And they
it.
will feel
Yeah.
it.
Right?
Yeah, they
Because
will
it's
feel
hard
it.
to, you know,
Yes,
to,
it's hard
for
to
example,
fake.
this one we're
Probably.
having a like a casual conversation, and
Uh-huh.
I believe you're a people person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree. You are
Yeah.
right. You
So
are right.
basically, if that's already in the table, I would suggest that go
Yeah,
explore
it will come
community
naturally.
building. Yeah, it would come naturally, and also it would play a big role in the future. Okay, you're less tired.
Yes.
You're not so
Relax.
Yeah.
because it fuels you, right?
Yes.
Talking to people fuels you. So if it doesn't fuel you, then it doesn't make any sense to do it at all. I'm all for like concentrating on your strengths
Yes.
rather than really concentrating on your weaknesses and building your weaknesses. I think like just concentrate on your strength, then I think you're good to go. So the second one, that's the personal aspect. Second aspect is the team, the importance of a team. So you cannot build a community without a team.
Alright.
So I have like a team.
How many are
of-
you
Yeah,
in
we
your
are.
in your department? How many?
Yeah, so the company, believe it or not, we started like just three. So
Three?
yeah.
So
one
community manager.
community manager, business development manager, and the branch manager, like the
Oh.
president.
These
So
people,
one,
man,
yeah.
you're the kick
Yeah.
ass community manager, I would say.
Hopefully. But
So three, huh? Okay,
yeah.
and then?
So
Yeah.
there's Masaki Suguro, Glyza Kabakaba. She's the business development. Masaki, he's the one from Japan, and he's the one who started the overseas expansions of the company. And imagine like he figured out the system in the Philippines. He didn't really figure it out at first, but he knew how to go about it. Glyza, and then me. So it started with us first. So I think like if the bond of the team, or there's no chemistry, and by chemistry I mean like a good working relationship, like if Glyza doesn't understand how I work, like how I am motivated by things, I don't think we're gonna work as a team.
Yes.
So it's like that. There has to be a team, and then we grew. Like there's Majin, there's Jaira. So we learned to work as a team, And that's where empathy comes into play, delegation, and having the right type of members in your team who also have the same vision for the community and who also like really like talking to people,
Yes.
like genuinely.
Yes.
So yeah, and then tools. I would like if they would really wanna foster a community, I would really recommend going on socials. This is where you can build a community even outside your region. So Facebook, not to, I know, but Facebook, other
Yes.
social networking
Sure.
sites. But
Yeah.
really,
Facebook
we
groups,
just
yeah.
The
you
different
would
platforms.
you would be amazed. Like most of the partnerships we've had, most of the connections we now have come from
Online.
because we just chatted on Facebook.
Yep.
And like really.
Okay, I'm just curious. Who are your first, like, in every business or in every company, you have these first 3-5 customers.
Uh-huh.
So who are your first 5? In Mandaue.
Okay.
Who are these 5 companies or customers that you started with and they were like,
okay,
you know
that
what
we
I mean?
really So the first 3 are Japanese.
Japanese.
Because they have a really the Japanese community, wherever they are, they usually have an organization.
Yep.
So there's World Association of Japanese Entrepreneurs. They also have their own community, and because of that own community, our boss was able to get some leads and like have the first client. So that's the first 3. The first one was an business English school. They occupy the largest area of our space. The second one, he's this recruitment guy. He recruits
Local or international also?
international, actually. But if Japanese companies need locals, they would also contact him. I think his company is NEC. And then, if I'm not mistaken, and then the next one, they're also a English consultancy
So
group.
from that
So that's
5,
the first 3.
the first 3,
And
and then
then-
after that you get like skyrocket.
Not
or you get
not
referral, or how many months? Or
referrals. A lot of our business comes from Facebook.
Facebook.
So the next one is
Social
admission.
media.
Yeah,
Yeah.
social.
It works.
What's next? The next one is a Filipino. They're also a startup at that time, but now they're actually moving out
Because-
of the office because they're bigger. They
Nice.
now have their
That's really
own
cool.
office.
Yeah.
So like when you come to think about the co-working aspect of things, everyone is really there for like a short period of time until they grow.
Yes.
And we're not necessarily, sometimes we're sad, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
they're
because
gone.
like your family,
Yeah,
yeah.
we usually see them,
You see them
usually,
grow,
yeah,
yeah.
then we know what they usually talk about, you know, and what they go through. Sometimes they ask out from us. So when they go out of the space, like we're
Yeah.
like, oh.
You're like parents, and you see
Somehow,
your
in
children
an-
leave
in an
or,
aspect,
or,
yeah.
you know.
So like it was amazing actually. Like they're just like 3 brothers, ne? And then they decided to start their own real estate company,
Oh, that's cool.
brokerage, I think. And then they began to be bigger, you know,
Nice.
bigger. They grow bigger and bigger and bigger.
You're
Now
part
they're
of that
moving up.
process, you know.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Amazing,
yeah. We
yeah.
can't always like claim that we are 100% really like the cause of their growth. It's really up to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also grew their own community, and we're very happy for them. Those are our 4th customers. The 5th one, they're a outsourcing. No. They're a development team based in Cebu, but their company is in Singapore.
Oh.
So
International.
international company. Yeah. So those are our first 5.
All right. So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
and they're also moving out.
Oh, so
Because
it means
they're
good
also
business,
growing,
you know.
yeah. Because
It's-
they're
it's-
also growing. They wanted to have their
Yes.
own space, really,
Yeah.
and we're just okay. That's okay. This space isn't always for everyone. It's for people who are growing.
Yeah, and you want them to grow.
Yes, of course.
You
But
want
we're
them
like
to, you know,
very
entrepreneurs to.
confused at the same time because separation anxiety is real. No kidding.
No, bro, I would say,
Sometimes.
you know, because we Filipinos, we are, what we were talking
Yeah.
about is like, we're kind, I
Yeah,
don't think
right?
I'm
Like-
not sensitive, but we are, you know, what do you call
We're
this?
very in tune with our emotions.
Because of our culture,
siguro.
close
Yeah.
family ties.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Filipino thing, right?
See, like community building is really innate sa Filipinos.
Yes.
So
And that's
that
our
feeling
advantage.
alone, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that feeling alone, right? Like when someone leaves, you'd feel the pain or like whatever. So you'd be affected in some way.
Yes.
So I think that's also community, ne? Because
Yes.
community is a feeling of oneness,
Yes.
of belonging to each other.
Yep. Totally agree.
It's very
And
true.
because of that, you have
I
another
think I
question.
talked a lot.
No, this is a helpful, that's why we're doing this. This is a helpful content,
Tools,
of course we have
tools, social networking,
So
And then
social media also
social media
play a
helps
big role
a lot. Helps a lot. Just be very basic with your tools. Do not be super.
So like
but
you
if
have
you
like a
wanna be
daily also like daily
newsletter,
or
posts.
daily post to
Yes.
get this the right market or your clientele.
Yes, of course we do. We do a lot of social
Do
media
you also this
marketing.
is like on the side. Do you invest on Facebook ads?
Yes.
Okay, Facebook ads, it works, di ba?
Yeah.
Facebook
We
ads,
actually-
it works. We second
Yeah.
one of the biggest,
That's
biggest
true.
coworking. They
Yeah.
invested, same with us.
Yeah.
Even I tell to our clients,
Yeah.
man, Facebook ad works because of
Yeah,
this
it works.
niche market
It works. Yeah,
and
but
specific market.
yeah, but it also depends upon the need of the people at that time when you start marketing.
Okay.
Because we observe that it depends really on the seasons. There are times now, this isn't really the season.
So
for
you're
people to
considering also the season and the time.
Yes, like usual marketing. Like
Okay.
if there's always like a downtime
Okay.
where there's no there's less demand for your product at that time.
Okay.
So yeah.
So in co-working space, what is the right time?
You should to advertise.
Yeah, to
start
advertise for you
advertising.
guys.
I would say, because most contracts and mga first quarter of the year, so probably start advertising at the beginning of the last quarter of last year.
Last quarter last year. It's interesting.
That's
I
not a
wouldn't know that.
secret. It's not a
Yeah.
secret, but yeah.
Okay, so what are the challenges that you encountered when you're starting to build a community in Mandaue? Before
Okay.
what are you? Can you share or give us your challenges?
Okay.
For example, you told us about 3 customers. Of course, definitely there's a learning curve, right?
Yes.
So can you
learning
tell
curves.
us about that?
Just based on the first 5,
Yes.
those are very different people with very different needs. And for a community to be built, there has to be like a feeling of what's this? There's something common between us. There should be like something similar for us to build a community together. So we have a group. So that's one of the first problems. Like, how do we bring these
because you're
groups
dealing with
together?
different cultures
Yeah,
also.
Yeah.
different cultures.
You have
different
approach.
interests.
different
Different
interests,
yeah.
and then
Japanese,
different
English
yes,
is different.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Japanese.
Interesting,
We
huh?
have Japanese. We have Filipinos. We have sometimes, occasionally Americans, Brits. Sometimes we have Singaporeans. Sometimes we have Koreans.
So the challenges are the
It's
cultural.
to bring them together. Yeah, it's
Cultural.
to really not just cultural, but like even the way because most of the clients are into development or either education. By development, I mean web.
Yeah.
Web development.
Yeah. So education and development are really different things. So like the devs are hardwired this way, and the educators are also wired this way, so like very different. So when you mix them together, they usually don't speak the same language.
Okay.
Like a dev would explain a certain a concept this way, but an educator would see it this way.
Okay.
So it's very
So those
difficult.
complicated,
Yeah, so that's
so what
the
did you do?
first.
So how did you manage it?
We didn't force them. So what we would do is we would find like a common denominator, which is food.
Yeah.
It's universal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, which is
Everyone's-
food
everyone's
and
like
laughter and
Yeah.
just having
Good
a good
vibes.
time.
Good time.
Entertainment.
Basically, entertainment. Yeah, so that's how we brought them together sometimes. That's how we would have them talk to each other, even if they're not
So
from
food?
the same company.
Food.
Food works.
Food
and
works
like,
and entertainment.
laughter, yeah.
Food.
Food.
Entertainment.
Laughter.
Food
It
joke,
works.
food
And
joke,
laughter.
really. Laughter
Yeah.
joke. And then like, if
So we're gonna do stand-up comedy next.
Yeah.
not really.
How about music?
Just kidding.
Not everyone.
Music,
Music, yes, we did like an amazing. It was so special. The Halloween that we had.
Yeah.
We invited someone to sing,
Yes.
and then we had food, and we invited all the members of all of our members' kids. to go trick or treating.
So your
So we
family
did that.
also,
Yeah,
right?
because honestly, if you really want to build a community, you'd have to be
Involve
really
also,
personal
right?
about it too.
Yeah.
Like to have
Involve
them
family.
involved, because most of our clients inside the space, they're very busy from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and after they're done with their work, they usually go home. There's no time for them to just build a community or something. No, usually they leave. So we can't force them
That's a
because
good- a
they're
great idea,
tired.
yeah.
Yeah, they're tired, and we're okay with it. And that's one of the reasons why they got our co-working space, because they need a working space.
Imagine co-working space daycare center. No, I'm just kidding. But
Probably.
it's a family.
Yeah,
no,
we're
but
actually,
it's a family
yeah,
thing, right?
Yeah, we're actually talking about it already, like building a daycare, but
Because
we're
we-
thinking about the logistics of
Entrepreneurs
this.
work so hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Longer hours.
Longer hours.
You are
That's
right.
true.
It's
That's
true,
true.
yeah.
But basically, we did that, and it worked. Okay,
Yes.
everyone was really like in like a good mood. And there were Japanese devs, and they joined in. They gave candies to the
Yeah.
children.
So I wouldn't be surprised
So,
if
yeah, and
if
then
we,
there
if we
was
come back,
food.
they have a daycare corner. No, I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
I
especially,
think
especially good, especially with
If you're busy,
working
no?
moms, working
Yes.
parents.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
just
if
not
you do
rather
that,
not
you're
stay
the
at
only.
home.
I think you will be the
Really?
only. No,
No,
there's
no, no. I don't
in the
think it's
Philippines,
unique
no.
though.
In
In
the
the Philippines, I don't know.
I think in the Philippines there's.
We'd be the first,
Yeah.
huh?
If this happened, like
But the logistics though, like you have to think about like who's gonna be the one
Yeah.
supervising
I
that.
don't think there's a.
Daycare.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's a
work,
lot
and
of
it's a lot of noise to manage too, because it
Yeah.
really
We can't
changes
wait,
the
if you're
dynamics.
gonna nail that one.
Yeah.
But
hard to
yeah, we'd
control.
have to think about it because in the very first place we're a co-working space. So yeah, that's one of the problems that we encounter. Kinda like
Quiet.
the schedule of our clients. They don't usually have time for community building or community like meetups or something, and also the differences of the really different backgrounds, like when it comes to language or just the jobs. Yeah, so those are the main factors.
Okay.
Really.
So, a while ago, behind the camera, we're talking about, Cebu, right? And yeah, I've seen Cebu, a lot of startup investors coming over, from different countries. Do you think we have an advantage as a Filipino?
Yeah.
Do you think we have an advantage in this industry or business as a co-working space? And what do you think about, the
Do we have an
the
advantage?
culture of Filipinos and how we are hospitable or this close
Yes.
family ties, and why do you think they the startups or European Western country, why do you think they need to come here and
Yeah.
come here to the company or other co-working space, like what you should try us, or you should join the community. What do you
Uh-huh.
think about that?
I think it's here in the Philippines, what I really appreciate is if you know the right people, you'd get introduced also to the right people, and
Yes.
it's now easier to find the right people. So that's why I think investors should come in as early as now,
Yes.
especially when the market is not that competitive as
Yes.
other countries. So that's one. I think like if you come here to Cebu, you meet someone like you or someone like Martin, and then they would ask you to introduce them to your network. You can
Yes.
easily do that. So it's like that because you have your own community, because of the community feeling that is innately in each Filipino.
Yes.
So it's also the same thing with me. So yeah, I think that's one strength that we have. Also, like I think for Filipinos, we're more open to try.
Yep.
I'm not sure. It's just based on my
Well, I agree with you. So I would
perception.
say
Like
maybe
for
we're warm, and I think now in this generation become more open.
open, yeah.
Compared 20 years ago, I
Yeah,
would say.
yes. More open.
I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you, Miss Jo.
And then we are also getting more skilled, especially when it comes to the communication.
We have the
aspect.
advantage,
Yes.
in Asia, not
Yeah.
for anything. Yes.
Yes.
The English,
Actually, the
is our
English
secondary
aspect.
language.
Yes. So that's also one thing. Yeah, we're good at expressing ourselves. So if if there's an advertising company or like a writing or publishing company, probably they can like find good writers here as well.
Yes.
But they're a little bit hard to find. But that's it. In the world now, here in the Philippines, there are communities now, micro communities. So if you just tap the right person, from any of those communities, you can really find the person that you wanna get to know.
That's okay.
Mm-mm.
That's awesome. You have a question, Martin? Aside from Miss Joyce Lovely, and it's so generous to give your time to us. Anyway,
Thank you for putting all this together. Thank you very much.
In short notice.
I know. I know how hard.
all of a
it
sudden
is.
we're setting up. Okay, please, Instagram Live, Facebook. Hello, everyone who's watching us.
I know how hard it is really to set this up. I know, like content creation is
Yeah.
such a
And
big
you're
thing
giving
in
a
the
lot
ass.
of helpful contents. by
No
the way,
worries.
so-
Yeah. I always think that what we think now have already existed before and are recorded in books.
Yes.
So like whatever information we may need
Yes.
are already in books. I always believe that.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe I would give the audience value or you value,
Yes.
but I always think this has also existed before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
and that's
agree
why
with you.
reading.
Yeah, especially nowadays, all the informations,
It's
all-
already freely
Also,
available
the
because
out
of the
there.
internet.
But
yeah.
but again, for example, in Entrepreneur Beach Club Philippines, right? We prefer face to face. Although we have like online sometimes, meetings and we talk to each other. Technology, we use the tools. It's in our advantage. But going back to community, since we're talking about community, community building. Yeah, I'm a believer of onto face to face. I would call me an old school, but you will if you talk to the person face to face, it's totally different from online.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
That's true.
Especially for example in co-working space, and we organize workshops. That's why we're promoting 3 days or 4 days in the beach, talking to everyone,
Just
and
connecting,
engaging
yeah.
and connecting.
Yeah,
Building
I
relationships.
believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
So yeah, I believe in balance. I believe in
Yes.
balance. But me, sometimes I'm guilty, or most of the time, because I spend a lot of time in the internet. So that's why I reminded myself, as a community builder, and Martin also, like, hey, let's go out.
That's
Let's meet
true.
these amazing people.
Yeah.
Let's engage again. Because me, I have a tendency to forget because I'm stuck in my computer
Like
or
all of
laptop
us.
screen,
Yeah.
trying
It's
to
okay.
hustle online. Same with you, right? That's
Yeah.
why this is a good,
Yeah.
this it's good for everyone. I would suggest or encourage everyone, go out,
But
from
I-
time to time, and engage.
Yes,
as
that's
we were
true.
saying.
But I do believe that tech is an accelerator. So if we wanna have like a bigger number of community members, I think tech is one good solution.
Can you tell us more
Um,
about?
Like for example, you wouldn't need to meet someone personally,
Yes.
but like when you ping them on Facebook
Yes.
or wherever they are, when you ping them, you'll also see who are these people who are also connected to this person that I
Yes.
can also ping.
Yes.
So in that way, it becomes an accelerator.
Yes. Okay.
In that aspect. So you can join groups, you
Yeah.
can announce yourself.
Yes.
Like,
That's the beauty
hey,
of technology.
technology. So
Yeah.
it's easier now to compete when it comes to the numbers, like the number of people inside your community. But you're right, like to really ensure that there's quality
Yes.
in your community, face to face is
But
always.
not all the time. But it
But
helps.
not-
It not all the. Because in
Not all the
Manila,
time.
traffic is crazy.
Yeah.
True.
The traffic is crazy. We
Yeah.
we go from one place to another, like 2-3 hours.
In Cebu, it's not really
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah, that's why I love
Just
Cebu.
1 hour.
Yeah, but that's why I love
But
Cebu.
still,
yeah.
And I think our clients also is adapting to this technology because they
Yeah.
wanted to save
Uh-huh.
time and to be more productive. So, anyways, I know you're busy, and we.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you very much
Always
for your time.
take
But
time,
before we
yeah.
end our interview to Miss Joy, I have like one last question. Not unless you have a question, Martin.
No,
Okay, as a parting shot of this, community building, is there any advice that you can give to the community or founder who are also into community building, and what would it be?
Okay. Again, please go back to the part where I say like what are the traits that are needed
Okay.
if you want to go into community building. Like
Okay.
you have to have genuine interest.
Genuine interest. Don't forget the
uh,
genuine
yeah,
interest.
with-
All right.
to other people.
Yep.
You
Be
also
sincere.
have to be empathic.
Yes.
You have to have empathic communication. That
Empathic
means you
communication,
feel what
yes.
the other is feeling.
Yes.
So, and also like be an effective communicator.
Alright.
I would also encourage founders, if they really want to extend their network and
Yes.
grow their community, join existing communities like Entrepreneur Beach Club.
Yes.
There are a lot actually of communities available. Just Google, ne? Google. It's
Google,
all
na.
in Google.
Everything is Google.
So yeah,
Yeah.
join. Just
Technology.
join. Just don't be afraid. It's easier now to communicate because usually mahihiya tayo eh, diba?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're very
Yeah.
mahiyain
Yeah,
as
sure.
Filipinos. But because of the digital age, it's like the embarrassment factor is
the
like
shyness
way low
factor
now.
na
Yeah,
decrease
it's
ba? Oo.
decreased.
agree.
So like you can use that to your own advantage. You
Yes.
can just message whoever is leading that group and you
Yes.
know just
Yeah.
volunteer, ne?
Yes.
Just say na, I believe in your cause. I wanna help.
Yes.
So just saying that, it really empowers a lot of community builders. So if also like if you want to do community building, I would also suggest the more communities you also work with. So if you work with other community builders, the more that you are able to achieve.
Yes.
So I'm talking about like a macro level now of community building.
Yes.
So the strength of another community builder is also your strength and can become your strength, but only if you tap that potential. So that's my main, that's really my main advice.
Okay.
Just
So-
community
That's really
builder,
good, yeah.
then communicate. That's
Okay.
it. Communicate clearly to your community and just
Engage in the
engage.
community.
Yeah. And if you really and be genuine, eh? Because be genuine to
Yeah.
yourself. Be
You cannot
merciful to
fake,
yourself.
yes.
Yes,
the
and there's also
authenticity.
but there's also like a lot of burnout in community work because the results are not always seen.
Yep.
It's
It will take-
usually felt,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
seen, so it's
Yes.
hard to quantify.
Yeah,
So,
true.
taking that into context while you're doing community building can really help you.
Yeah.
Be also merciful to yourself as a community builder. Sometimes your goals won't be met. So forgive yourself. Learn how to forgive yourself.
There's
Really
also
becoming
learning.
an entrepreneur, ne?
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
risking, communicating, being genuine, ne?
True.
I
This
guess.
is this is to validate, the like-minded people telling the same story sometimes, different. The way you say it, but the main objective of community building is what you mentioned. Sincere, you're genuine, self-awareness, and people to people, and so on, empathy.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
That's it. Very basic. Very
Yeah.
basic. And I'm all for the basic.
And in fact,
Community.
we just want to share to everyone. We're talking. I just met you like a few hours ago. This is for the
Yes.
record, and she's trying to help us. Martin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I can introduce you to this person, and it's like Martin. I met Miss Jill like a few hours. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm also really
And
honored to meet
this is
you.
a very good example.
Yeah.
I believe because we feel each other in a good
Mhm.
way. Like we have
Mhm.
this like aligned
Mm.
principle
Yes.
in could be business or personality,
Mm-mm.
and that's a very good example of what you're saying.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just a personal question. What are the communities have you joined before?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one. Yeah, it is.
Before. So before, what do you mean? Like during college?
Yeah. All the
Starting ever
communities, yeah.
since?
Or you,
gosh.
you have a
ju-
favorite
or just
community
your most
Favorite.
memorable community that you
that
have
you
joined.
join. Like it could be in
Yeah.
church, it could be your family, cousins reunion,
Yeah.
and become friends, or
Okay.
like I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I could start.
Favorite
Yes.
So
yeah.
the first community I've joined is about toy collectors. So I've been toy collecting when I was college. That but wasn't really famous here in the Cebu. So the community was all over all over the world. So there are Filipinos and there are some Malaysians and everywhere,
Wow.
just toy collecting and doing toy photographies.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that was our
in-
first.
In my community, of course, it's your turn.
Uh-huh.
After
It's
me,
okay,
my
okay.
community, I joined community of artists.
Mm.
Great.
What type of artist?
Okay,
Musician?
I'm so lucky. I was able to hang out with musicians, photographers, and now they're famous.
So all types of artists.
Yeah, so arts and music. So because I manage and run a marketing creative company, and the community helps me. Because you are surrounded by people who are optimistic at the same time, creative. I'm so fortunate because they're optimistic at the same time they're creative. How cool is that, right? And the community helped me to grow as an entrepreneur and be part of their creativity because they're sharing their ideas and like, oh, you know, Arlie, why don't you do this? Like, is that possible?
Yeah.
That's why community for me. I'm a believer. I'm a fanatic of a community. So now your turn. So what's your favorite?
talaga.
or,
Pwede really a favorite.
only naman, not
Yeah.
our
Most
favorite.
memorable.
Most memorable, or you
Most
like,
memorable.
kasi baka maraming favorite.
Sige,
Yeah.
most memorable. I would say the outreach community.
Outreach.
Yeah, because I really saw the realities of life at such a young age when I joined that community. And it really made me a grateful person. It made me like this type of human being. Like I would feel for other people because of that. That's it. I really like that community because
So
it
the
humbled me. Ne?
You're like
And it
the
shared.
heart and the soul. Yeah.
Yes, because what
close
are
to
we
them, you
without
know?
our souls?
Correct.
Yeah.
True. So anyway, thank you so much, Miss
Yes.
Joy.
No worries.
And before we end, our podcast,
Podcast,
live,
yeah. That's it for our podcast session.
but would you like also to invite them,
Yeah.
to
Yes,
those, to those who are
yeah.
who are trying to visit or wanted to visit Cebu?
And
Yes,
visit
um,
the company.
Yeah, the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you wanna check out our space, we are at we are in Mandaue and we're also here in Cebu City. So in Mandaue we are at Pier Medio Street, along Pier Medio Street rather. Just look for JDN building. Here in IT Park, here in Cebu City, we are in IT Park HM Tower 15th floor.
In your social media.
Social media,
Follow
just
you.
the company Cebu. Follow us there.
Facebook, Instagram.
Same, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Okay.
the company Cebu.
The
Also
company
YouTube, but we're not really super active on YouTube. But
Soon.
Soon, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I hope you learned something, and also don't forget
Thank
to
you
follow
so
us
much.
on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And yeah, hope to hang out with you again on next episodes.
Next
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, so
Like
by the way,
next
guys, we're looking
event.
forward to collaborate with the company. Of
And
course,
Miss Joy,
we're brewing something,
And maybe another podcast.
Yes.
Different topic.
And we could do it like a regular thing once a
Yeah.
month.
Maybe.
Sure.
You know, we're gonna put ambush
Yeah, you
against
can.
Joy.
Yes.
Yeah, but on a serious note, we could, if ever, you have time again, maybe, next month.
Sure.
We do
Just
like
let
with
me
the
know.
founder this time.
Yes. Yeah,
and
you
talk
can.
about
You
the
can.
other topic,
Or you can talk to some of our members.
Oh,
They're
your
also
members?
founders themselves.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so you can look for people inside our space that would be willing to talk to you about their experiences.
That's a community.
And they're
building.
entrepreneurs.
Yes,
Ah,
that's community
that's
building.
Alright.
Take away,
Okay, so thank you
Thank you
very
so
much. Thank you so much, Miss Joy. Thank you
so
for
much,
having
Martin.
us.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much
Thank you for
for
the
having-
Ambush interview.
ambush interview.
Ambush.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did well.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
That's fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is Entrepreneur Beach Club Philippines. Keep hustling and cheers.